So what does the resistance look like? Is someone going to stand up and shout, "I am resistant to your change"? Probably not. Sometimes I have to admit I've probably encountered that before, but usually it's a bit more, subtle. So there's a few different ways that I've noticed that resistance manifests. The first one is silent resistance. Now, obviously, this is just someone not actually conveying the resistance in any way that is detectable. And it's therefore very easy to ignore, but you absolutely should not ignore the silent people. Just because someone isn't vocal doesn't mean that they won't be a force against your change. So what you want to do here is try to create situations that enable people to speak their minds. You want to have workshops, you want to have two-way communication, you want to have anonymous surveys, because maybe people, if you're having a workshop, maybe some people don't feel comfortable speaking in front of everyone or going against any inertia that the change is picking up. So if everyone's really happy about the change, people sometimes don't like to go against the wind or the wave or whatever the metaphor is. So giving people different ways to feed back what they're concerned about might help you understand their resistance. Tackling the silent type often works best in small groups with familiar people. So leveraging existing relationships within an organization, such as Scrum Masters, line managers, these people will typically have a relationship with the people who will be going through the change, the people who have to learn new skills. So using those people as change agents, as champions, can help to bring out some of the silence and help you not wait until it's later down the line when things are starting to be disrupted because they're not adopting the new ways of working. Try to tackle it a bit more proactively. Vocal, the one in the middle, this is obviously the easiest to spot. It's the guy who's the loudest. So the thing with vocal people who actively say they don't actually support Agile, or they don't get it, or they don't think it will work, usually I found the thing that they're vocal about isn't actually the real problem that they have. Someone might say, "Oh, I don't like Scrum. I don't think it will work around here. It's just not for us." Chances are they don't actually have a problem with Scrum. It's all the other subtle things that comes with it. Again, if they have to learn new skills, or they might be bad at their job for a while, that can manifest itself in different ways. And they might conflate that uncertainty and fear with a dislike of Scrum. So with vocal people, it's important to have empathy, understand where the root of their resistance is coming from. And once you understand them a bit better, once you dig a bit deeper than the surface, you can work to address their concerns. Now, the saboteur, this one's interesting. This is the guy behind you just waiting for that moment to strike. Hopefully not with a knife, though. And this is why I love remote working, because you're very safe and protected from these kinds of attacks. Saboteur is someone who's usually quite vocal as well. The difference is they'll actually consciously try to sow seeds of discord within your transformation. So some people might be resistant to the change. They might not want to try Agile, but they'll go along with it. But then there's a much smaller set of people where they actually try to not make it work. They don't put in any effort. They're not proactive. They just don't bother with the change. So like if a team's trying to adopt Scrum or Kanban, they just won't participate. They'll just do their own thing. And these are all, even if it's not conscious, it's all acts of sabotage, essentially. And this can really undermine your change and really help go against any momentum that you pick up in trying to move to an Agile ways of working. And I think it's really important not to isolate these people. Don't silence them or try to call them out, because that will probably amplify their negativity, because they're already in this space where they're not liking the situation. So if you call them out too much, it'll probably just create more resistance. Instead, I think it's important to, again, be empathetic, understand where they're coming from, why they're feeling what they're feeling. Try to use clean feedback so that they understand the impact of their actions. If you're trying to create a team environment that are adopting Scrum and someone's, actively not participating or just disinterested or just leaves or whatever it might be, that has an impact on the rest of the team. So conveying that in a clean way can help them understand that, you know, actions have consequences and that it all doesn't work in the interest of the organization. Another one that I like is, you know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So a great way that I've found to help bring people who don't like the change on board is to give them opportunities to participate in the change. If you give someone, you know, a role to play, if you help them get involved in the change in whatever they might be interested in, it helps them become a champion and you get more opportunities to convert them. So you can be surprised the type of response you get from actually involving people and say, come on, I know you don't like it, but you know, we can work together. You can help us create a framework so that our organizations can adopt agile. And just by the act of involving them, A, you get more chances to change their mind, and B, because they play a role in the transformation, it actually helps convert them and helps them see why it might be a good idea. So what I want you to take away from this slide is that change resistance manifests itself in different ways. And we should try to be conscious of that and prepare a strategy to deal with each different manifestation.